Hi, welcome to another program. Today I want to continue with the previous week's video that we have prepared about military operations by the Turkish military in the northern Syria. Turkey intends to create a buffer zone, a safe buffer zone, in order to accommodate 1 to 2 million refugees there who might be feeling to immigrate to another countries, so that the other countries will not be affected, and as much Turkey has been accommodating around 3 to 4 million refugees, that we will not take any more heavy loads about that. About this first video that I have prepared, I have received some feedbacks which were positive and negative, but in total I want to just reply in total why Turkey again feels to engage such a military operation. Moreover, what might mean to future, and why we are still thinking that the Turkish military operation creating a buffer zone is not going to be satisfied, and then Turkish military and the government will feel that they need to even go deeper into Syrian, why this is going to take place. And I will give you the reasons, all the reasons, in joint conjunctions with the developments in US Congress, between the President and the Congress, and also the meetings between Syria and Israel and other things. And it will not be only also limited with Syria. We should consider this as Iraq and Syria together. And let me now talk about all these developments with you. So let's start. Now, I have indicated that Turkey is not going to satisfied with this military operation. Yes, indeed, the American forces leave the area. Now they will be, or at least some of the parts of the military establishment over in northern Syria will be left in northern Syria around the oil reserves or oil fields in order to protect that. But the problem is, in order to protect for what? Now, of course, the official announcement is suggesting that they are going to protect these fields not to be again captured by the ISIS, so that they will not be empowered and be a greater force again. But what about the PKK and YPG? What about them? Are they not going to be again, or are they not using these benefits? Are you suggesting that they are not being run by the PKK and YPG assets over there? They are not taking these benefits in order to buy some small arms or heavy equipments against the Turkish interests or the Turkish government, state authorities? That question needs to be really answered, replied. I don't believe that PKK and YPG is not there. I believe strongly they are there. They are running this and they are taking the benefits. Otherwise, if it's the Americans who are running this, it means that they are stealing the oil from one country, and this is another problem then. Therefore, this money or these oil fields or the products over there is going somewhere else, and it's most likely, and it can be also substantiated again, it most likely goes to the PKK and YPG forces. So, which means that they are buying all these both forces from these businesses. I will call illicit businesses. Moreover, it's not this problem. Now, there's a problem about opium. Coming from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and PKK and YPG is also running this business, coming from Central Asia also to that point. And they have also illicit business in Europe, and they get money from the businessmen. So this is a huge turnover, and Turkey has to deal with this. Why? Because when they are going to use this illicit business turnover, they can buy small arms or heavy military equipments even in future and use against the Turkish military. Who says they can't? I mean, if you go to the academic writings and other things, it writes like that, how a terrorist group use these kind of stuffs in order to empower themselves and use it for their benefits to fight with I would say, other governments. Therefore, I strongly believe that since PKK and YPG is there, using the oil fields revenues to empower themselves, and all these turnovers enable them to buy some small arms and or heavy equipments to use against Turkey and the Turkish army, Turkey is going to be feeling, I'm sure shortly, in a 6 months or a year or 2 years top, but unsatisfied with this military operation. Therefore, this operation, in my view, implies only that Turkey is not going to be satisfied with this military operation. We have to satisfy our security needs. We have to make sure that the Turkish people and the Turkish interest within our domestic land and also on the neighborhood is secured. Since PKK and the YPG will be active in the northern Syria, aiming to get all the oil revenues for their benefits to use against Turkish army and state authorities, even the people in Turkey, Turkey is going to feel that they have to go into the depth of the Syria, which is going to bring us maybe across with the Syrian army. But to be honest, I don't care. Because if our security is not there, we have to make sure that we are secure. But why we also say that these kind of activities will also create a lot of problems in the region. Now, in the region, I said not only Syria, but Iraq too. Consider, and in the academic literature, there's something called fragile states and weak states. Now, there is a difference between the fragile and weak states. Fragile, at least you have some kind of authority in the central authority, let's say. At least some kind of, I will say, services that are provided by the government authorities. But in the fragile state, weak states, there is none. They have already lost. Now, looking at the Iraq, we can see that the corruption is the biggest problem. I work with some projects in Iraq. I know the authorities over there and the mindsets. Corruption is high level. From top to down, there's a corruption. And as long as it takes, and believe me, this state is going to lose almost all the central abilities or the expectations that the people need. What the people need. I mean, it's like simple. Huh? Why we are living for? Why we need a house? We need a house. We want to eat. We want to just accommodate ourselves under a roof. And we want to, make children for the next generations. People goes like that. Same for other people. What they expect from government, hospitals, doctors, healthcare, food, accommodation, education, simple economic activities. None of them at this moment are properly given in Iraq. And this is mainly because of the corruption. And not only that, the neighboring country, Iran, is also taking a lot of advantage about Iraq. They have mobilized army units over there and some proxy groups, and they are taking all the benefits of these kind of economic activities in Iraq, which means Iraqi revenues are not distributed fairly within the people because there is not much to be fairly distributed left to people. So it means that all these central authorities are going to be lost one day, 100%. Even I can remember a couple of months ago in Basra, the region, there's a parliament over there, the regional parliament, and they wanted to be also declare an independence from the Iraqi government, like in Erbil, that the Kurds over there have done, and they want to get their fair revenue, they say it should be, and they are saying that we are even producing more oil than the Kurds over there. Why we cannot get the fair shares? And these kind of sounds will increase time more and more and more and more. Now, why it's important to Turkey? It's simple, because when the states are coming weaker or fragile, it means that they are losing their central activities or central government responsibilities and activities. Basic, simple economic activities are going to be reduced. Young people unemployment is going to increase. The tourists will find easily recruitment for their abilities. And then all these oil, I will say, turnovers are going to be started by the terrorist groups. They are going to be used for their own benefits, and these are going to be used against Turkey, because PKK and YPG only intention is to create a terror country next to ourselves, my Turkey. So once this happens, and it is already happening in the Syria, especially in northern Syria, Turkey is going to compelled to initiate another or some serious or several, let's say, military operations against these forces, against these terrorists. And these are going to, it means that Turkey will or has to go into the depth of not only northern Iraq or Syria, at the same time, maybe even both. And we have to do that because we need to purge these terrorist assets from our borders. Now, we have done this in the northern Syria, most people think. But in fact, it has not been done or achieved yet. Because once they are running or evacuating this region or this part of the region, they, let's say, in the northern part is Turkey, and there's a border now. Now this is the new border between Syria and Turkey. This is the buffer zone. But all the terrorists are coming to here, underneath this border. Why Turkey entered this region? Because they say, we don't want to be a neighbor with the terrorists over there. End of the story. So once these terrorists are coming from here to there and still our neighborhood, you think that Turkey is going to stop? Is not going to say anything else? This is going to continue. Guys, you have to understand this. As far as the PKK and the YPG assets are in the region, Turkey is going to compel, is going to feel that they have to ensure the safety and the security of the state. And they are going to go into more and more depth of Syria, and they will not stop there, also Iraq. Because those both states are losing their revenues to meet the needs of their people, and people will uprise, and the unrest is going to create a lot of problems, and this creates a very nice, good environment for these terrorist groups, especially for PKK and YPG in this region, and they are going to use this against us. So let me ask you, why Turkey shouldn't enter the area? We have to. Oh, some people are saying it's Syrian or Iraq. So please be my guest, go in there and do your work. You can't. Because corrupted. Because Assad doesn't understand his people's needs. He doesn't give any democracy or rights. Iraq doesn't give anything to their people, only corruption. Put the dollar in their pockets, run out of the country, either to some offshore bank accounts, Sweden or somewhere else. So really, why we are going to stop securing our borders? Why we are going to stop securing our safety of people? We shouldn't. We should go into depth of these countries if required, if these terrorist groups are not going to stop their activities. And we will. Now look at the Syrian, the northern Syrian. The Americans are now allocating their 200, 300, maybe 1,000 soldiers over in the northern Syria. It means that these, I would say, turnover is going to be flown to somewhere else. Are they going to the US banks? US is stealing the Syrian oil? Of course not. So this is going to be run by whom? This PKK and the YPG guys. And they are going to be gone to who? To these forces. So what they are going to do? They will use it to buy small arms to use against the Turkish army. You understand now the cycle? This is going to happen. So in a couple of years, I am expecting another operation, maybe in 6 months, but I am expecting maybe 1 to 2 years at least. We have to wait for another one. But this incursion to the northern Syria, especially on the line of Iraq and Syrian border, is going to continue because the oil reserves where the PKK and the YPG are protecting are there. So Turkey has to come down if they want to close this or at least stop this turnover flow to PKK and YPG. Meanwhile, in the northern, I will say, Iraq, the status of the fragile state is going to give a nice environment to PKK and YPG, especially PKK is very strong over there, and they will use it to get all the revenues and distribute to people in order to create an uprising against Turkey and Turkish interests. So before that happens, I believe that Turkey is going to go in there. Now, if it means Syria and Iraq is going to be unhappy, by all means, what can I say? But there's something interesting I need to say. It was on Tuesday on the news that a private jet from Israel to Jordan flew. So what's that? It can, why not? Well, of course it can. But that one then only stopped 2 minutes in the airport and flew back to Saudi Arabia. And most likely it was the head of the intelligence agency of Israel and met with the Saudi king. And they were discussing, according to the news on the blogs, they were discussing about the recent developments in northern Syria. They have realized that I would say, the buffer zone is creating a lot of also advantages for Turkey, for future, for the incursion, and they started thinking together, which is very interesting for us to see that how they can work together in order to stop Turkish, I would say, development in the northern Syria and, if possible, in northern Iraq. We have to understand that Turkey is going to have a very hard and difficult time. You shouldn't be thinking, all my friends who are saying some and relating these developments day-to-day basis. You can't do that. You shouldn't be evaluating everything day-to-day basis. You have to evaluate everything in the long run. You have to look at 10 years, 20 years time, and you have to say that, yes, we have achieved or we haven't achieved. Sometimes Turkey is going to get some positive results. Sometimes Turkey is going to get some negative results or developments. But you have to think always the end result, which is like 10 years to 20 years. You have to look ahead. And what I'm seeing that because of these things will happen, the terrorists are going to use the status of the weakness of the fragile states of Syria and also Iraq. They are going to take every benefit of it. And what they are going to do, most likely, is use it against Turkey. So the terrorist activities is going to increase, I am estimating or projecting, against Turkey. And Turkey is going to feel that they have to purge these terrorist assets in that region wherever it needs to be. So that's why the Turkish military operations is going to continue and not going to stop here. It's going to go into depth because of all these things I have just said. If somebody is thinking vice versa, I will say they are wrong. It's impossible. Any Turkish president, either it's Erdogan, Ahmet, Ayşe, Fatma, John, Julie, whatever the names are, it's not important. It will be taught like that because they are going to create threats to our interests. They are going to create threat to our security and safety. And a leader, the elite group of the country, cannot, I am saying again, cannot unsee these kind of things. They will react. That means that they are going to react now differently. They cannot wait and fight these terrorists in the region. They have to push them, purge them, wherever it is, cut their turnovers, cut their illicit businesses, wherever it is. Then the fight can be only one. So I am projecting that Turkey's military operation will go into depth of Syria and a couple of years, to maybe at 5. It will also start in Iraq. Anyway, if you like this video, there's a like button underneath the screen. Please press on it. And if you subscribe to our channel, you are going to get notifications once we publish a new one. Thank you for watching the video and see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.